5 interceptions for Goff. It's somehow one of the most unbelievable finishes from the Lions I've ever seen. We'll get into that. Some takeaways. There was some wind with the Niners, their special teams. There's a question. Sam Darnold roller coaster in full swing. So we'll talk to Aaron Jones about that. They get the win at Jacksonville yesterday. What else happened? The Bears. We've got Micah Parsons tweeting up a storm, yelling at ESPN. I don't know what they're saying. I haven't watched, but I'm seeing it all unfold here. The Cowboys, the Sun in Jerry World. We're going to get to it all. Andrew Whitworth here to break down what's going on as we head towards where things get feisty, and Debo gets feisty, and everybody gets just as feisty, wanting to get their team into the playoffs. Happy Monday out there. Lots of games to get to. Oh my goodness. We had lots of action. We've got already, somehow I have the week slate. This is nice. Week 11. I have it on my desk. What a time to be alive here. Big games. Oh my gosh. We got the Thursday night matchup. I'm already looking ahead. Washington at Philadelphia. So much to get to. Eagles, maybe Super Bowl bound. We'll talk about that. We'll get into absolutely everything following that Commanders loss. We've got games to skip around to. The Chiefs remaining undefeated. It's them and everybody else. But it is Veterans Day, so happy Mondays. We celebrate all the veterans, everyone who's sacrificed, served, defended our country. We get to do what we do. Sit on a couch on our asses on Sundays or doing whatever we're doing, earning a living, smiling, running around, helping people, even having a bad day. We have that right because of the service and the sacrifices of so many people and their families. So today is, to me, all about taking a minute and finding your own way to say thank you. Maybe it's by giving time, a smile, a phone call, whatever that might be, from the bottom of my heart here. And I think from everybody at Up and Adams, thank you so much to all of our veterans, everybody who has served, will serve, and their families. Okay, let's talk about some football. This is really buzzing. Sorry. I want to talk about what happened in Houston last night because it was unbelievable. The Lions somehow overcame, you think you can't overcome interceptions. We always say, oh, they lost because they lost the turnover. It didn't matter last night. 16-point halftime deficit. They beat the Texans. They moved to 8-1. They stay at the top of the NFC. Here's what Jared Goff had to say to his locker room after they rallied, after they helped overcome his rough start to the night.
If that ain't a lesson, it ain't over till it's over. That's what it is, boys. Way to fight all day. We're different. We're different than all 31 in this league, all right? Way to go. Win on three. 1, 2, 3. Win!
I mean, last night was the kind of stuff you see from championship teams, isn't it? They play their defense. They come up with a win on the road against an AFC contender. It's the stuff that we've come to expect from the Chiefs. We're getting it from the Lions, and you could feel it as it was unfolding, like you do when you watch some of these inexplicable comebacks and you're just imagining being an opponent to the Chiefs. You just know no matter what's going to happen, no matter how great of a play I make, they are right there, and you get the feeling that it wasn't over and the team's going to find a way to get back in it. And seeing this Lions defense do what they did in the second half, you can't be excited if you're any NFC team. Houston, 7 drives after halftime. They picked up just 5 first downs, 0 points, 0. Lions picked up Stroud twice, picked up 2 sacks, limited the Texans to just 3.2 yards per play. They were totally dominant. They gave the offense a chance to make up ground, and this is what was missing last year, a little bit, right? When you go back to what happened in that second half against the Niners, this is a totally different defense now, right? I mean, just the idea that you can shut down this explosive Lions offense, you can force 5 turnovers, and they still find a way, there's no way around that. I mean, that would have been sort of unthinkable on any team, especially this one for sure last year. And it's what really makes them. We'll talk to Andrew Whitworth, who spent some time with him, of course, on those Rams. It's what makes the Lions hard to pick against. They're overwhelming favorites to win the NFC. They're a close second to Kansas City when it comes to overall odds to win the Super Bowl at FanDuel Sportsbook. Have some fun over there. Chiefs plus 420 as of this morning. Lions right there at plus 500. So that's the story. Hard to not pick them, even though the Chiefs have things going their way. Take a look at those Super Bowl odds. Who's not in the Super Bowl odds? The Jets. But the Cardinals, they're just a great team. They're an impressive team. They've got talent, now they got coaching, it's all working for them. The Cardinals just beat them up. 6-4 now. They're first place in the West. They look every bit of a playoff team. Everybody's recognizing it. They've won 5 of the last 6. Kyler Murray's on fire. Trey McBride came on the show, and I go, I'm sure you like being an underdog, Trey, breakout tight end, but it's hard to be an underdog when you keep winning, and you might come out looking at like the best team in the West, a team that went to the Super Bowl last year. They got Moody problems. You know, this is wow, this is unbelievable. Kyler was insane. 17 straight completions. That's a franchise record. He hit on 22 of his 24 passes overall against his number 2 ranked Jets pass defense. New York had no answer for this 4-headed monster. Kyler, the aforementioned Trey McBride, James Conner, who scored a touchdown, you're welcome, and Marvin Harrison Jr. And this pretty much buried the Jets before Aaron could even get going. I had so many tweets about Devontae, and Devontae's he's not doing, he can't, what can he do? He's not on the field. They can't get his ass on the field for 3 seconds. The Cardinals put up 31 points on 5 straight drives to start the game. They didn't have a chance. They moved the ball a little bit on New York's side, but Arizona's defense, they were just coming up huge whenever it mattered. They held Rodgers to field goals on their first 2, and then they came up with a huge 4th down stop inside the 5 to really put any chance of a rally to bed. Cardinals haven't allowed a touchdown in 3 straight weeks now. They have not allowed a touchdown in 3 straight weeks. That is crazy. And they've won these last 2 games against the Jets and Bears by a combined score of 60-15, okay? These have been statement wins. And if they play like this every single week, who in the NFC is safe except the Lions? We can't say both things, and those 2 things can't exist. The Lions are the better, more dangerous team, but it's very fun to see it coming together for Gannon. For Kyler, I love this kind of a thing that happens to quarterbacks, like we've seen over the past couple of years. He's always had the talent. Now it's panning out for them. I want you to look at the NFC West. The Cardinals, they're 1 game up in the win column over the Niners as they head into their bye week. So, I mean, if you think about it, they've taken down San Francisco. They've beaten the Rams head-to-head. The Niners somehow still favored to win the division at plus 115. Somehow, I think has to do with the fact that, I mean, they keep winning. Wasn't pretty yesterday, but they won. They also got Christian McCaffrey back, so you got to think that they'll start dunking on people eventually. But even with that, I don't think that this team just falls off or is going to fall off anytime soon. Well, how do I characterize the Jets? What bucket do I put them in? My show is allergic to wrapping teams up, even though they're on life support. Like, it's not, we are not pulling the plug on anybody. They're 3-7. Stunningly, we're not saying that the world is done for them yet. We'll hear from Devontae Adams hopefully tomorrow. Let's hear from Aaron Rodgers right now on just where is he after this game?
It's been, a lot of emotions this year for sure. I thought, after a big win Thursday night, nice long week, we're going to come out with a lot of energy and win the game, and we just, we didn't come out with great energy on either side of the ball. And offensively, you're not going to beat anybody scoring 6 points.
You guys always say he's not accountable. He's super accountable. There he is right there. He's taking accountability. He's right about the 6 points. Offense has to finish in the red zone. But this was the defense on this one, right? The offense went up. They moved the ball. They were down 21-6 by the time they got the ball back for their 3rd possession. Defense, isn't that what this team is supposed to put their hat on? And we got all excited about Aaron, and everyone's saying, oh, what a failure is a savior and whatever. Like, the defense was amazing. Not to take anything away from, or wasn't amazing, not to take anything away from the Cardinals, but this is not a Cardinals team that's supposed to be pushing around what was the top 5 defense last year. All right, let's move on to Steelers-Cardinals here. This had to be the best game of the day, right? The one I was certainly looking forward to. Steelers pulled a trade. They pull out a 1-point win. Love a close game. They're 7-2. Steelers are so good. They're one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Tomlin, congratulations. How do you feel?
A lot today that, they weren't accustomed to. They had only had 13 3-and-outs through 9 football games. That was an agenda of ours. 47% of their drives reached the red zone. That was an agenda of ours. They're a dangerous group. They're a hot group. But we want to be the firemen. We want to put that stuff out.
Fireman nickname. And maybe that should be the new addition, the name for these news guys. I thought that's like what you call them. The Steelers' deadline moves for Mike Williams and Preston Smith might have been what made the difference in this game and the rest of the season. I mean, they're sitting there pretty at 7-2. the moves that they made. Let's get into this a little bit. Mike Williams ran this perfect route to get open for the game-winning touchdown. He only played 9 snaps, and that was his only target of the day, coming up with this play on the 3rd and long with the game on the line. That is one hell of a way to make a first impression with his new squad while his Jets can't even get on the field. Look, he was just there and it wasn't working. Preston Smith did his thing too. My gosh, he comes over from Green Bay. He gets a sack on Jaden. A nice TFL, I loved that. 3rd and long. Wow, we've talked a lot about Commanders GM Adam Peters. Tremendous work he's done this year, but I feel like I don't know that I've said the name Omar Khan in the 3 years of this show. I would bet $1 million that I have not said Omar Khan on this show, which is embarrassing on me because it's incredible what he's done. In his, this is my 3rd year on this thing. It's his 3rd year in Pittsburgh, and they're about to win the Super Bowl. Are you kidding? They're about to go. I believe in this team, okay? And it's not just the instant payoff that you make. Like, you have to have some sort of cojones to make deals like that at the trade deadline. It's not even that, though. It's the whole roster. The creativeness, the willingness to say, shut up to everybody who's going to roast me for Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, all of that. The team is not 7-2. You understand this, right? They're not 7-2 without both of those quarterbacks. We can compare them all we want. It's both. Khan overhauled the O-line. He improved the defense as well. It is not easy to improve a team that already has highly paid stars and never has top draft picks because your coach is so darn good perennially. This is an incredibly creative, almost schemy way to do things, and I love it. Not schemy in a bad way, like he found his way. He found a way. The Steelers are in first place in the North. Everything was about Thursday Night Football last week. Ravens, Bengals, they're the 2, and then maybe the Steelers. I mean, come on. They got a matchup, by the way, with Baltimore next week. Baltimore, an early 3.5-point fave on the road in that one. What'd you say? Sorry. Oh, it's not. Oh, yeah, look at that. Plus 100,000? Is that true? No, it's not. Is that a typo? Plus 100,000 odds for the Cleveland Browns to win. No, I've never seen odds like that. Does that exist? Hamilton? That has to be a typo.
That is not a typo. I've never seen that before. Not even even the Patriots are still plus 29,000 in the AFC East. So that is that's really something.
We don't talk about Omar Khan enough.
Yeah.
Great job by him. Could they go to the Super Bowl?
It's hard for me to get there with them yet. I still don't fully trust the offense yet and Russell. But as you said, I think just piecing this thing together without having a top draft pick to spend on a quarterback, without having cap space, it really is amazing the way that he's been able to overhaul this roster. You think so?
I think so, because they're not going to fall off. So now they're sitting there at 7-2, and everybody's trying to get upstream a little bit. They're not going. This is not a team this is the last team that I would say, oh well, they started hot. You look at what's going on some other teams that started hot, got some. This team's only going to get better. Mark my words.
That is true, and they're just such a tough out. They're going to give everybody problems. They're going to give everybody a tough game. I think if they beat Baltimore, it changes my opinion of them a little bit. I just want to see them win a game like that before I can get there and put them in the contender conversation.
Plus 10,000 odds, guys. Yeah, you guys say that Browns have no chance, basically. I mean, there's always a chance. There's always a chance. Is there a chance? I don't even know. Mathematically? I don't even know what that means.
I mean, mathematically there is, yeah.
Plus 100,000. I mean, I'm taking that all day is what I'll say. If we're to peek at the Commanders side of this, just for a second, love the Commanders. Frustrating one because they played pretty well. If you look at the Zach Ertz catch, if we have it, one little, take a look at this. All right, it's 4th and 9. If there was one little inch on the Zach Ertz catch, they probably end up winning the whole game. So, This is just little things here. If Johnny Newton doesn't jump off sides, they have a chance too. So it stings to not have that game. While I was watching this stuff happen, I was thinking about all the Commanders fans saying like, oh, we're finally, the luck's getting on our side. That inch goes the other way. Zach gets the completion. He gets the down. Like, it just didn't happen yesterday, and sometimes it's not going to happen. You're not instantly going to get crowned. It's not instantly going to work out for you every game. But they were without Marshawn Lattimore, Brian Robinson, 2 starting O-linemen, their awesome kicker that we highlight on the show. We literally said Austin Seibert more than we have Omar Khan on our program. But they got to get healthy. It is Thursday night. It is Eagles, as we are seeing. It is in Philadelphia at the Link. The Commanders have a chance to take it right back from Philly. Philly, they've been the heavy favorite in the division at -240. 3.5-point favorites for that TNF matchup. I cannot wait until Thursday. We got to keep breaking down what happened in Week 10. Aaron Jones is making an appearance on our show. I was very worried about him leaving the field the way he did. Are players leaving on carts just not a big deal anymore? Is that just what's happening? We'll have Andrew Whitworth break that down for us. Aaron Jones will join the show. Micah Parsons, do you want us to drop you a link? You can come tell us what your real feelings are about these Cowboys, as you have many, it appears, on Twitter.
This is one of the wins that I'll be most proud of, all right? Because not one time did I feel it. Not one flinch. And these are the ones you f***ing remember. These are the ones you f***ing remember, and you lean in a lot of to improve on the rest of the way. But defensively, that's a championship effort right there. And our specialists showing up. I'm so proud of this team right now. All right, let's get back to work. 1-1, 1-0 on the road to this 3-game stretch. It's going to be a grind. Get ready to ride after a victory Monday.
Yeah! These are the ones you're going to remember. These are the ones you're going to remember. I'm going to remember a career year for Aaron Jones. Aaron, you joined on a team, like, at one point, I would imagine you'd want to slow down. Now you're on pace for a career year, 1,700 rushing yards?
On is on, I guess is what I could say. Just a testament to the system that I'm in, KO, the blocking unit, the weapons around me. It really opens up things for me and opens my game up.
How are you feeling? I hated what I hated what I saw, and then you came back and I felt better, but I hated it.
Just a little sore, but I'm good. It can't. I'm protected by God, so was able to get back out there, and he can't hold me down for too long.
You were the toughest player because you leave the field and then you came back, which was great, but you played the last couple of drives. To come back and get those tough yards when you come back was insane. 4 carries for 17 yards. You helped put the game away in the fourth quarter. What was the energy like with you on those final 2?
Just more so mentality over everything. Just be out there for my brothers. Don't worry about if it's hurting or not. It's going to hurt regardless. So just close out this game and you'll feel a lot better. The only reason I got carted off was because it was on the X-ray machine was on the whole other side of the stadium. So you got to get in the car. So if it wasn't for that, I would have got carted off. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I just keep seeing like Mahomes was being carried off last week and then he all of a sudden just hops back out. And I'm like, hold on. Because when you have to be helped off the field, like I'm used to like that being the most dire moment, but it clearly wasn't the case for you. It was a far X-ray machine. Good.
Yes, ma'am. Logistical.
This was a weird game, Aaron.
It was. But, you'll take a win in the National Football League. Wins are hard to come by, especially on the road. And that was a good football team as well. Their record might not be indicative of it, but that is a good football team, and they have pieces at every level. But we know we can do a lot better. We felt like we did some good things out there. We moved the ball up and down the field. We just got to score, essentially getting, that's what we're out there to do, get in the end zone, score points, make it easier on our defense. So our defense really came to play, though. Parker Romo as well. So anytime we can leave with a W, I'm happy, and we'll get back. We'll go back to work day by day and get better.
You had 101 total yards yesterday. As I said, you're on pace for over 1,700, which would be a career high, which is insane. You're getting more and more touches than ever before. Is this what the plan was when you signed there? Did you think like, oh, here, I'm in the double-digit weeks, this is where I want to be, or did you think you'd have a different role?
I didn't know exactly know my role, but I know I would be used in multiple ways. I know I'd get an opportunity to show my ability in the run game, the pass game, protection, just show that I'm a complete back, not just can run downhill or and KO kind of told me that, but I didn't know how much I'd be playing or what that would look like. But I know when I get an opportunity, make the most of it. So, but I've loved it.
I had this thing when you left Green Bay that I was like, man, and I used to say, and I still, heart and soul, like you can't take him out of there. He's the heart and soul to it. And now I'm sort of learning that you're just the heart and soul of wherever you go. Because the second I said Aaron Jones joining me on Up and Adams tomorrow, all the Vikings fans were like, that's our guy. Can't wait. Like, you just become the guy whenever you are. What has it been like to endear yourself to another fan base like this?
Really appreciate that. This fan base has been amazing to me and my family. They welcome us with open arms. They tell me all the time how excited they are to have me. I don't think it's a day that goes by that I walk out of this facility that I don't hear that from somebody. And so it really means a lot to be here. This is a great community, great organization, great fan base. And I'm just blessed to be a part of it and look to continue to play for them while I'm on the field and leave it all out there.
I heard what Coach said about in that little bite. I hadn't seen it till right now, where he's like, these are the games that you'll remember. Like, it's a game where the offense, like, everybody looked good. I mean, we'll get to Sam here in a second. But the offense is what did not look as good as maybe we thought, as you were averaging a lot more points a game, all of that. What does this kind of a win, this like gritty sort of let's get to it win, do for a team really?
It shows that you can win pretty much any kind of way. It may not always be pretty, may not be 30, 40-point games, and maybe a close one. I mean, I don't know if I've ever been a part of a game where we went off of only kicking field goals. So that may be a first for me. But I want to say Coach Pettin came up to me. He said back in the 2000s, I can't remember which year, but when he was in Baltimore, they won games like that. So it's just indicative of, like you said, how gritty your team is, and what they're like. If you're facing a little, I don't like to call it adversity because adversity is like stuff that happens in the real world. But when things don't go your way out on the football field, we didn't have any blink. We didn't falter one time. We stuck together, and I think that's what helped us get through it.
I'm looking at the numbers: 402 yards, 28 first downs, but 4 field goals. Weird game.
Very weird. We just gotta.
But you got the
win. Just gotta punch it in the end zone. Get it in there.
You got it.
It'll look a lot different.
Yeah, you mentioned the defense. Y'all know how to celebrate up there in Minnesota. You do. And then this Cam Bynum thing, after the game-sealing interception, did you recognize this when you saw it happening, like what it was?
No, I didn't. This is like maybe the second or third time that he's done something.
And you're like,
and I'm like, what is he doing? And then later on, I get on X and I see like the compilation like that or the side-by-side video. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he went crazy. Like he definitely has the best celebrations.
What does this say about him? I've talked to him about it. From your, like, what does he bring to the team? What is his role? What is stuff like that? Does it matter?
It does. He brings a lot of energy to the team. He's a great guy to be around, fun, and he picks everybody up. I know you see like those guys can't wait to get down there and celebrate with him or see what he's going to do. I'm sure some of them know what he's going to do, and the other ones are like waiting and like, okay, what's about to happen? And the rest of us on the sideline are just waiting. And you guys are saying it's a movie, so we always waiting to watch the movie.
I love that. I want to ask you about Sam Darnold because I think a lot of people out there are like, oh, this is what we were afraid of. And here come the interceptions. 3 yesterday, 2 the week before. Everybody's keeping the tally. You won the game. I'm sure going into the season, you guys had 100% confidence in him. What is your confidence in your quarterback right now, percentage-wise?
110%. We ride with Sam. He's what's gotten us here so far, and we're going to continue to stick by his side. We know he's a great quarterback. He could touch any blade of grass on the field that he wants, throwing that ball. And you just have some games like that, but that's what teammates are there for, to pick each other up. That's what our defense was there for, to hold them to 7 the whole game. So we could win off of field goals, and our specialists did their thing as well. So we all got Sam's back. We all 100%. 110%, like I said, believe in him, and he's gonna show you guys. He's used to kind of, I guess, the narrative that's about to come out or be spun or whatever wants to be said about him. He's used to that, but we're not gonna pay any attention to that. Gonna keep patting our guy up, keep leading patting our guy on the back, and help him lead. And he's right. He's the right guy here.
What are the conversations like when those things do happen? The interceptions are coming. What's he saying? What are you guys saying in the huddles?
We just stick with it. We're right there. We're doing great things. We're moving the ball. They haven't stopped us yet. We stopped ourselves, whether it's penalties or turnovers, but just stick with it. We got each other's back, and it was just constant communication when we touched the sideline. From offense to defense, of players communicating in the bypassing or the offense communicating amongst each other.
Love that. Can you tell me a little bit about, it is Veterans Day. We talked about it a little to start the show. You have the Salute to Service Award nomination. Congratulations to you. You're always amazing, always doing the most off the field. But you're being recognized right now for the incredible work that you do in supporting children and military families. It's the ANA All the Way Foundation. What does this mean to you, and what can you tell us?
It means a lot to me. To be nominated for this, I grew up as a military brat, so I see myself as a representation of the military as well. when I take the football field or just in my everyday life, that's kind of is my upbringing. Both of my parents retired as my as sergeant majors. My mom did 27. My dad did 29. So it was just a blessing for that to be a part of my life. I feel like it's really molded me into who I am today. And with me and my family's charity, we do a lot of giving back to the military families, military children. Through that, we've been able to partner with a diamond company called Eternova, and I've lost my father, but through all of that, we've been able to partner with a diamond company. This diamond company will pick a family who's lost their soldier, and we'll work with this diamond company. And what they do is they take their fallen one's ashes and they turn it into a diamond, and we give the family a diamond, something that they can always remember their loved one by. And so that's just one of the many things that we do for the military children or the military families. They come back from they come back from deployment. We'll rent out a movie theater or a trampoline park or something where they can bring their friends and their family, and it's just them. I remember my parents coming back from overseas, and the best part was, I guess, one, not having to go to school. Two, just watching movies all day, laying on top of my dad. Me, my brother, my sister, all of us, my mom, all of us just laying on top of my dad, or we're all laying on top of my mom when they come back, just enjoying them being there, enjoying them that moment, knowing it's not always promised.
It's really beautiful, and you have such a personal connection to it. You even honored with the month of the military child camp. You had that back in April. You were always doing that and trying to find ways to keep your family close to you. As I will never forget when that necklace came off of you, and it's an NFL moment that I will never forget, and everything that you've been through. Love ya. Crush it. Keep crushing it against the Titans. One quick one. I know you have to go. All this talk. There's a lot of talk right now about the sun at Cowboy Stadium. You torch Cowboy Stadium, okay, Jerry World. Have you seen this with the sun? Have you ever been affected by the sun at Cowboy Stadium?
It's crazy. I can say the glare. I have seen the glare, and it's pretty bad. The sun is, but I haven't myself been affected by a play, but I've had plays where I've been affected by either the stadium lights or something. That was just like, you could tell he didn't see it because he didn't even make an attempt at the ball.
Yeah, it's never happened to you though, Aaron.
I've lost the ball. It was back when we played in Philly. The ball's in the lights, and I see it. I see it when it leaves his hands, but it gets caught in the light, and I'm starting to just try to time it. I feel it coming. Like, I could feel the ball coming. I go like this. So now it can get a little scary when you lose the ball in the lights, or that's one thing that's kind of unaccounted for.
Yeah, I guess. So we're going to talk to Andrew Whitworth about it. Good luck against the Titans. When you score this week, can you bring it a little bit? I think the offense needs to show up the defense at the celebrations. Could you give me a little something memorable this week?
Gotcha. I'm going to have to go home and do some practicing because I think Cam practices.
Clearly he does. All right. Thank you. Say hi to everybody. Thank you. And happy Veterans Day. Thanks for telling us all about that.
Thank you.
Aaron Jones, the absolute GOAT, on pace to have a career year in his first year as a Minnesota Vikings. They're sitting here at 7-2. Sun glare, just an excuse for CD, Andrew? And is he making excuses? We'll talk about it. See, now Hamilton, I'm not buying it. Aaron had an opportunity to say he brought up Philly.
Yeah.
I just want to know, is it a thing? You know how there's like certain things where it's like, oh yeah, it's so bad over there, or like the benches are so cold over there, or like whatever. Like, is that a thing in Jerry World? It's clearly not.
I don't know. I think it's different for a running back too. I think for receivers, I bet if we talk to receivers, they'll say something.
Aaron catches the ball though.
Yeah, no, he does. It's true.
So like, then it's an advantage. So like run games have the advantage in late windows in Jerry World, clearly.
Yeah, when that sun's hitting like that, yeah. And it's something too, I think you think about when you're deciding, at the coin toss, which side of the field you're taking, things like that. When you know it's going to be like that in that window.
I think I'm going to fall on the side of the internet that's like, you guys aren't human. You're not supposed to be human. Moody's talking about the wind stopping, so it went too much left. I'm like, no, I can't do weather. Weather, the sun, and I can't. You're supposed to be gods. Gods among men. I'm kidding.
You don't want to make excuses, but it matters.
No,
yeah.
I know. Jerry is coming out hot after this game yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you remember when he lost the ashes of his dad?
Yeah.
And then they had like everyone searching for, it wasn't a home game, I don't think it was an away game.
Yeah, I think so.
And everyone was looking, and then they found it, which was insane. They found it.
Yeah.
I love Aaron.
He's incredible. We're glad he's having success there right now.
110%.
110%, yeah.
My whole thing is like, that's part of the Sam Darnold experience. He didn't like pull the wool over everyone's eyes and like, they're like, where is this coming from? Like, that there's like a downswing to the ebb and flow of anyone. But like, my whole thing is like, what can you do about it? Bring it on defense.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and I do think there's like a reset that needs to happen. You do see him forcing the ball a little bit these past two games, which he wasn't doing as much early in the year. Yeah.
I told Hamilton this morning, I sent him some tape, everybody. I said, look at all these interceptions. They're all him trying to get the ball to Jefferson. Maybe give the ball to Aaron.
A little bit more. And you got some other talented receivers. That Hawkinson's back now. You got Addison.
But
I know there is that pressure when you have a guy like Jefferson.
Justin isn't like, give me the ball. I know that's not happening.
Yeah.
It's just, I want to get the ball to him. But they're all
yeah.
I haven't seen one interception. Who is that? 4 out of 5 were to Jefferson.
Sweet ball, baby. 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 Sweet ball, baby.
I love that theme music. My next guest, a Super Bowl champion, 4-time Pro Bowler analyst for NFL on Prime, gets roasted by, I believe, his son. Was that your son roasting you?
I got roasted by Michael Lee. Yeah, he had a big time, that's for sure.
That is so amazing. Life is good for you, and I need to hear about the new podcast. I want to start there. Fitz and Wit. It's you, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Don't you spend enough time together? What is this?
I guess we can't get enough, Kay. It's one of those things that I think for 2 years we've kind of put off. We keep saying we're going to do it. We didn't do it. And then now we're here. And look, I even got the microphone out because I know you've been in this world. I don't even know how to move any of this stuff. They came and set up my office. I have no idea how to work my computer anymore or any of these screens. So I'm going on the big mic today. Here we are. But
I love
we're
it.
excited. It's a lot of fun. It's just us hanging out, talking about football, our family, our adventures on Thursday nights. Just a little bit of Fitz and Wit in our life.
I love the name. New episodes on Mondays on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everybody down. Oh, it's produced by Wave Sports. Interesting. So y'all are getting that $100 million check from Amazon here coming up, huh?
Yeah, I don't know about all that. Right now, we're just trying to figure out how to work the equipment. And, also, Kay, like we doing what we do on Thursdays.
Yeah.
You talk in these 10-second, 20-second bites. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, I can just talk. So you're just getting used to that whole dynamic of, hey, this is like us sitting around having a coffee or a beer after the game. Let's just rap and share our feelings about stuff. So that part's been fun, too. It's just more time for us to fellowship. We feel like we're FaceTiming and sharing it with the world.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, very funny on Twitter, of course. Very funny yesterday when he was counting those Jared Goff interceptions. What'd you make of that?
Yeah, he was nervous. He was texting me during that. He was real happy that they brought up that, Stafford threw 5, and then they kind of jumped to the record of 7. They skipped 6. So he was real happy with that because that was the only way he was getting his name called. But he got pretty nervous. But, hey, you know what? Let's talk about Jared Goff throwing 5 picks and still winning a game. That's insane. Amazing.
It's an unbelievable game. I want to get to some of these, but can we talk? I'm thinking of the games I haven't hit yet today. The Bears. What do I do with it? I'm from Chicago. I'm sorry to start with something so negative, I guess. They took a tough loss to the Patriots. It's their 3rd straight loss. Eberflus was asked about changing the play caller after the game. We have all these weird little moments leading up to what's going on. Is there a move the Bears need to make here?
Yeah, I think when you look at it, it's tough when we watch these teams that go from like, all right, we're building, we think they're about to take some steps, and then it actually goes the other direction. And being in the league and knowing what it's like when you start to struggle offensively, you start questioning every single thing you do, from how you practice to how we put in the plan, to now every week you've probably had a different answer, and you keep getting the same result where we're struggling. And I think even, the reality is even the coaches are a little lost on, hey, where do we go from here? What's the way to fix this? They're all in search mode.
That's
as I
not
call it.
good.
And that's not good, but that's the reality, because the truth is confidence and you finding yourself is how you grow. Like, all right, this is our lane. And when you kind of have a couple weeks in a row where you're just not finding a single way to be productive and it's almost getting worse, that's when you really start to question yourself. They need that moment. They need that thing to happen that just kind of gets them back going, because we all lose confidence when we fail. And so I think this situation, me, is tough. I mean, really, to see Caleb, his demeanor yesterday at the end of that game, and some of those hits, it's tough to watch as an athlete, because we know how hard it is. I mean, to my opinion, that's the hardest position in the world to play. I just hope for him. I know the guy he is, the human being. I hope they find it. They figure out a way to get him some success and some confidence, because I love it when he's smiling and having fun.
Well, he can't smile when he's getting sacked 9 times, Andrew.
Oh, that's brutal.
9.
Listen, as an offensive lineman, that's tough. I mean, you're going around town, Kay. I'm in the grocery store. Somebody's saying, hey, why are y'all letting Caleb get hit so much? You just, you're getting frustrated everywhere you go. I mean, that's just the reality. They're calling you out. I'll never forget somebody telling me about getting a holding call one time in the grocery store. I was pushing my buggy, like, hey, man, stop holding. It's like, listen, dude, I will throw you through all those milk cartons right now, okay? Get out of my face. But that's the world you live in. When you start to struggle like this, these offensive linemen, they got to take some pride in protecting him. He's also got to help them get the ball out of his hand.
Okay, that's my question.
He holds the football way too long.
9 sacks cannot be on the offensive line. Can you tell me about that?
Well, no, I mean, that's the reality. I think sometimes we forget. And in offensive football, sacks and the quarterback getting hit is not just on your offensive line. Yeah, sure, quick pressures, quick sacks, those kind of things. But anything else that's outside that window, there's a timing and rhythm to every play, routes being run and everything else. And so if you're going to ad-lib as a quarterback, if you're going to extend plays, it becomes on you. So once we've gotten through the timing and rhythm of the play, it's really you making solid decisions, getting the ball out of your hand, go ahead and throw the incompletion, and let's move to the next down, because that's a whole lot better than us having negative yards. Or if you're going to extend it, make something happen. That's on you to make a play. And so too many snaps where he's got the ball too long. And I know we praise that in college and we see these guys do it and you love it. But when you get to this level, there's a feel for it. There's a timing and a place for it. And then there's times to realize the ball's got to get out of my hand, and I've got to take care of these guys and keep that same confidence I would like to have with us having success on offense.
Yeah.
I need to give to my offensive lineman. I need to give to my coordinator that, hey, have confidence in me. If this isn't a good look, I'll get the ball out and we can move to the next down.
It's so everything you're saying. I mean, I wanted Chicago to be great. I want them to be great. I want them to figure it out. I love that you're saying they need this moment, and you can't manufacture it. It's got to be this moment that works for them. But they had a big moment work against them, and it was that Hail Mary. And I swear, since that Hail Mary happened, Andrew, tell me if I'm being like too hyperbolic or dramatic about it. Like, they have not scored a touchdown since that thing. This play ended their season. It looks like that's on coaching, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I agree with you. I think, to me, when you look at it, there's got to be some influence in that room of like the standards of how they go about things. What is their process week in and week out? Because when you look at it, people talk about the Stevenson play and him off there talking to the fans and the result of the play. But to me, the bigger picture is why is he doing that? And like, who's running what our culture and our standard is for how we perform in a game until that clock hits 0. Because to me, it's more about a process thing. And then now that you're struggling, what's our process? What is the way we go about fixing things day in and day out? To me, that's leadership. That's the opportunity of the coaches to fix that. That's their job, to establish the values and the process with which we go forward, trying to be great at what we do every single day. And those things kind of stick out as, man, what's our process exactly? How are we fixing these things? A little thing like Caleb continuing to extend plays and hold on to the ball. Like, why are we not seeing change in those directions? That means we're not improving daily. And anytime we're doing that as a football team, I'm worried.
Yeah, they need the antidote. They need the elixir elixir to that Hail Mary, to pull them out of whatever happened, that they couldn't pick themselves off the mat. And I do look at the leadership on that team when it comes to that. Hopefully they can figure it out. I don't like when changes get made on teams, so let's figure it out, Chicago. The thing that I cannot figure out that I need your help with is what to think of these Niners. I'm trying to after what happened, yes, like they get the win, so I'm like, okay, but they're not as good as they were last year, point blank. So the simple math of it is, do they have to be so much more dominant? They haven't had this one win that's like the step on the throat game that they're in charge, they're dominant, like I saw several times to this time last year. What's going on with this team?
Well, I think if you look at it really defensively, they lost a couple pieces up front in the defensive line. I kind of figured going into this year, obviously they're not fully healthy. I thought, hey, defensively, people are going to be able to run the ball a little better on them than they have in the past. That's just the reality. Eric Armstead being gone, a couple other guys, they're going to be able to run the ball a little better. So that's just an increment. It's a tiny thing, but it is a thing, right? And then you look on the offensive side of the football. The truth is, Kay, as great as this group is, as awesome as Kyle Shanahan is at calling plays, there's plenty of data that says when they don't have all 5 of those guys, when everybody on the skill group isn't healthy, they're just not as good. They don't win as many games. They're not as productive. Good. There's a huge drop-off. I think Purdy is getting a whole lot better. I think he has continued to improve. I just think without Ayuk, without some of the guys through history, we saw it last year when Trent missed games. We saw it when Debo missed games. Anytime Christian's been out, they are just not the same team as when they have all those guys on the field, because they love to get 5 out. They love to spread the field and have you having to cover a great player all over the football field, whether it's running game, passing game, you name it. So it's just, the reality is I think they've taken a little bit of a step backward. And offensively, with Ayuk out, that's one more weapon that they had that they don't have to their disposal. And so I think it makes it more challenging for them to win. And I also think that the truth is just other teams are getting closer to them, and they're actually moving backwards a little bit as a football team. They're not as good as what we've seen the last couple of years. They're
letting teams like the Cowboys back in. They let the Seahawks back in. They're giving up like what happened with before we get into the Jake Moody thing was crazy, but it's something that plagued them last year. I think that's built up resentment from like the Super Bowl. Like that's what that is. And then it's coming out. What did you make of that whole I mean, they talked it down. Like obviously, like I didn't like it, but I mean, Moody made that last field goal to win it.
I mean, you can't argue that the strategy didn't work, I guess, if you want to say it that way, right?
That's what I think.
Here's what I would say. I think that anytime you're a team like that, that's used to the standard they've played at, the success they've had, when they're struggling the way they've struggled this year and had to really fight and claw for what they've got, I think there's frustrations that are built up. And I think I'm okay with it, because to me, I want you hitting your teammate on the sideline? No, I don't think that's ever a solution or an answer. But I do like, for me personally, I like seeing that we care that much.
Yes,
I like seeing that it matters that much to me, because I feel like, Kay, we can't live out of both sides of our mouth. Like sometimes we sit here and we go, man, we'd love to see these guys act like they care. And why is nobody saying anything on the sideline? Why is nobody getting in anybody's face? And then we want to criticize when they're passionate about it and they don't get along. So it's like, what do we want to see them do exactly? I like seeing guys that it freaking matters to, and they give a crap that, hey, we win this football game and we're frustrated. So do they need to internally deal with it as teammates? Sure. But do I love that it means something to them that we're busting our butts to go win this football game? Heck yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I don't think Jake Moody makes the game-winning kick if Debo doesn't get in his face, if Pepper doesn't have his back, he goes out there and he executes. Whenever stuff like that happens, I just look at like, oh, there must be more to that. And then I think, why didn't I blame the coach. It's a problem I have. It's my toxic trait. I'm right away like, well, why doesn't Coach Shanahan figure out why, there's clearly something wrong here. Like he needs to hold special teams accountable. Why didn't he, he's just going to roll Jake Moody back in the same thing and expect something a different result. So I always blame the coach, which probably isn't right. But I do like seeing the vigor. I think it matters. It needs to happen.
I agree. I love it, because sometimes when you do those things, you get in a tunnel. Like you feel like you're all alone. You're messing up. You're making mistakes. And then you just continue to do it because you're freaking out.
Yeah.
And sometimes a moment like that where somebody just like, whoa, like he just went after me. He's mad. Like, oh, wake up. Like you got a job to do. Go do it. Like, stop being fearful. Stop freaking letting the emotions of failing.
But aren't kickers treated very preciously? Like you're not supposed to.
They're almost like a golfer.
But you're not supposed to spook. You can't spook them. He spooked him and it worked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're like golfers, right?
Yeah.
So like you got to be quiet when you're on the tee box. You got to be quiet while they're putting. Like that's what golfers, right? Like just don't touch them, don't speak to them, don't put bad luck on them. Like leave them alone, right? And I think in that moment, it's like a guy who's in a funk, and he kind of needed like a whoa, all right, yeah, get it together. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Go make the freaking kick and let's win the game.
Do you think they win the division, the Niners? They're still favored, by the way, to win the West. They're not the best team in the division right now, though.
Okay, you know I'm not going to pick the Niners. I'm going to go the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah?
Come on.
Let's go.
We got our offensive line back. The boys are coming back. All they got to do is take care of business tonight, and we're going to get on a roll. That's what I believe. No, you know what? I really do think the Rams getting healthy, we're going to get to see what this team is really like. They haven't played with their starting offensive line the entire season yet. So finally, for them to have that opportunity going forward, I think they make a run, try to make a run at this. But, dude, I think we got to put some respect on the Arizona Cardinals name. I mean, continually, they seem to show us, if you show up and think that they're not going to play physical football and that you better bring your A game when you play them, you are very mistaken. So I love this Cardinals group. I got a lot of love and admiration for them because I think that they bring it every single week. James Conner is fun to watch play.
Yeah, and such a great story. Like we love that. Last one. I don't know if I want to throw this at you. I feel bad. The Cowboys.
Oh, gosh.
What would you like to talk about? Because there's the Micah Parsons, there's the Trey Lance thing, there's the CeeDee Lamb son thing. Is there a place you'd like to go with the Cowboys?
Well, don't forget about the lights, Kate. You know, the sunlight doesn't bother offensive linemen, you know, because when I'm taking sets and run blocking, there's shiny stuff in my face. You know, I missed my hands because there's such a glare. No, not true. That's an excuse. Get over it. You're a professional athlete. Woo! I don't want to hear that crap. Figure it out, okay? I don't want to hear whining about the sunlight.
But he really did. There's no way. There's no other explanation. He did not see that ball. He didn't even try.
That's great. Figure it out. I don't want to hear about excuses about lighting, okay? Baseball players play in the sun. They put a hand up and catch the ball. I don't know. Figure it out. I just don't want to hear the excuses. All right, so my thing on that is that. And then after the game, I think with Micah, and you hear the comments everybody's reacting to today, I'm not a big fan of, like, jumping on what guys say right after a game because to me, the emotions, the energy, like, you're not always
he's tweeting
in the best
right now.
Headspace.
So now it's a day.
And then I don't doubt he is.
Now
I know Micah well
later.
enough to know he's going after every single person that's mentioned his name today.
See, I don't know. I was thinking on the drive into work this morning, I go, I don't know Micah. I've never met him. I don't know how serious he is, what he means by it, what he doesn't mean by it. But I mean, did you see what he said about McCarthy?
Yeah, after the game?
Yeah, let's just make sure everybody sees it. Let's take a look.
You know, that's above my pay grade about if Mike is coaching again next year. But, all coaching aside, Mike can leave and go wherever he wants. But the guys I kind of feel bad for is guys like Zach Martin and guys who might be on their last year or on their way out, because that's who I wanted to hold the trophy for. You want to win games and do great things with those type of legends who put in more time and work than Mike McCarthy ever did. So.
Crazy thing to say?
It is. I think it's the generation that we live with in the sense that he's got his own podcast.
Yes.
A lot of these guys now have their podcasts. And so what I mean by that is I think Micah there in that moment, what he's really trying to get out is the guys who day in and day out put their bodies on the line and serve as players, their organization, and do the things like a Zach Martin has done. That's who he wants to play and win for, which I completely agree with. As players, that's how we are. We appreciate our coaches. There's a lot of love and appreciation for the opportunity. But the guys that you go to war with right beside, that's who you really want to do things for and accomplish for. So I think that's what he's trying to say. I think the part about I would say this, he needs to reword a little bit of how he said he works harder than McCarthy ever did. I think he's like, that sounds like he's discrediting what McCarthy's accomplished. And knowing Micah, I don't think that's what he meant at all.
Good.
I think what he meant is, he's never put his hand in the ground. He's never violently had to make contact with another football player. Like those type of things, if you think of it in the world of what we do, there's a different respect level for the guys who've actually had to make physical contact than the people who might draw up the X's and O's.
Understood.
And I think that's all he's trying to say.
I love that. And I'm sure he'll talk about it on his podcast. You will talk about it on your podcast, Fitz and Wit, which you guys can hear Mondays on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Good luck to the Rams, who might win the division.
Come on, baby. Okay, you got to believe because my Bengals, I'm just getting so frustrated and sad. I can't handle it.
When are we going to wrap? Are we wrapping them? Are they done?
They're never done, okay? We are never done, okay? I won't allow it to be said, okay? We're never done. We still got a chance. If there's a window, we got a chance.
Hold on, we're going to go to break here, but I do need to ask you about that because, like, I was thinking about you this morning, and I go, you've been with the Jets twice, right, on Thursday Night Football?
Yep.
Last time you saw them, everyone's, like, having the time of their lives. There's Halloween Like, what do I do with them? Are we wrapping them? Are they done?
I'm done.
We're done.
I'm out.
Why?
I'm out on the Jets.
Give me one reason they're done. Why?
You want to call it whatever it is. I don't think they have it this year in their locker room and in their group. And it just seems like one week they show up and play because some things go their way. And then one week it doesn't. And there's nobody in there that changes really just the attitude, the passion, or anything in that place to be, what it takes to win every single week. They don't have any of it. There's no consistency.
Did you think that when they won and they were sitting there, were you like, okay, maybe they have something? Or were you already like, no, not this year?
Well, our game Halloween, I thought was a disgusting football game that they were the team that actually figured it out a little more in the second half than the Texans did. But no, that gave me no confidence of how they go forward because the reality is what they have is what they have. And that's just, they're not a very good football team.
Oh, you're the best. Love ya. Where are you this week? Oh, you got a big one.
Big game, Kay. Big game.
Huge one.
Got the Commanders in Philly. Come on, the first matchup of Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts. Let's go.
Philly you'll have it. I mean, you love the link. Get out of here. You're going to have the time of your life.
We're going to eat good. We're going to have a good time.
Enjoy it.
Lots of tour in the city.
You were the absolute best. I cannot wait. Honestly, it gets better and better every week. Love watching.
Well, appreciate it. Thank you so much, Kay.
Congrats on the podcast.
Let's go.
See ya. Love. Hey, Richard. Can you make sure he knows that can that go out? I know. Can you make sure that he knows that Jets take might go out? Because I don't know if he thought that we were off or something. I just want to make sure. I just want to protect him, his thoughts. Oh, God. Okay, great. Great. All right, welcome back to the show. Really want to thank Andrew Whitworth for taking his time for us. Aaron Jones, clearly, he's saying he's 100%. He's saying he's got 110% of faith in his quarterback, Sam Darnold. We are going to still go over some games that we didn't hit, of course. I know fans want to hear maybe a little bit more about the Jets side of things, maybe a little bit more about the Kansas City side of things. Kansas City at Buffalo this week. Fletcher Cox is going to be on the show making his debut. Not his debut, actually. He's been on our show before. We'll see you tomorrow.